Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Mike,
I'm Duran.
and this is Before We Forget. So, Duran, before we forget, you got a question?
I do have a question. It's pretty long, but we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into it. My question is, why do women like adopting homeless dudes into a relationship? And what is the relationship nowadays?
Why do they lock?
Like adopting homeless dudes into relationships.
I think a lot of women like projects, like, and I know what you mean.
I'm gonna elaborate. The building ninja program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to hear your answer.
we saw it all throughout school. Like the popular girls ended up with dudes who wasn't gonna be nothing, and we knew they wasn't gonna be nothing. And to this day, they kind of fell in that trap.
To this day,
what it is, I really think it's two things. One, I think it's one either going to be the project, like they like thinking that, oh, I could take him from what he is now and make him better, and like he's gonna forever be loyal to me for bringing him out of where he was and putting him where I want him to be. And they don't realize that you have to be okay with where a man is currently. Like, if he never gets better from where he is right now, is that enough? And a lot of people don't think that way. What they think is, I want to fix them and I want to mold them and I want to shape them into what I want them to be. A lot of women fall into that trap and they end up stuck because they have kids or they get married and they can't get away, or it's not easy to get away.
I feel like this series is gonna be more than one episode. It has to be because I, for the life of me, can't understand why a woman would take a man into her house or into her life and he ain't got nothing. He don't own nothing. My favorite thing to say is that how you gonna get with somebody who doesn't have keys to anything? He ain't got a key to his job. He got a key to no car. He ain't got a key to no house. He ain't got a key to his mama house. Like, goodness gracious.
He giving her something though. And sometimes that something is what she need in that moment.
That's propaganda. Because everybody got one of those. So what, his ain't special? His ain't special just because you getting it. So it's a whole allure. So it must be an addiction because I've seen this even outside of growing up in high school. And I'm not saying that I'm holding some grudge against somebody because they didn't pick me or anything like that.
No, call her out. Who didn't pick you?
I'm dead.
I'm just kidding.
So I'm just saying, I just seen it, and I had a whole situation where somebody was talking to me about their relationship and their life and whatever, and I asked them could I comment back to what they was telling me, and I was confused because I'm like, well, it sounded to me like you getting the short end of the stick, no pun intended, because if you know this person ain't treating you well, they not going the distance for you, and you have more days where you're sad than you're happy, then what are you getting from this?
But a lot of times they're looking at perceived potential, right? And they see the potential, but the dude most of the time don't care. He's not looking at his potential. He's looking at the fact that she's paying all the bills. I get to chill at home. He may work, he may not work, he may jump jobs. Who knows? But he doesn't have to fully live up to his potential because she's carrying so much of the weight. And he gets away with it.
That's crazy because you, as a person that's working and taking care of responsibilities and doing these things and many different hats I wear, there's no way I'd be putting up with that type of behavior. And then here's the caveat to that. It's not really a caveat, but we're doubling down on it. Them same girls that give people like me and you a set of rules to be with them or a excuse of why they putting up with this.
Like if they leave dude and now all of a sudden they got standards that are higher than what they had with this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't disagree with that though.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's propaganda, it's fluff because people don't do what they say. So it's like, oh, he gotta treat me like this, he gotta do this and that. But then when you meet the person they with, it's not like that. It's a whole different story. My man is literally a bum. Literally. Like just sitting at home, probably ain't take no shower, wake up till like 12, 1, 2 o'clock. Just a norm. And I'm not saying that it's just anybody that don't got no morals. I'm saying somebody who just clearly don't care about nothing. They just get up. Ain't no grind, ain't no hustle, no dreams, no aspirations. They just getting up. And I mean, she is breaking her back for this brother. She cooking, cleaning, working 1 to 2 jobs. If they do have kids, watch the baby all day and just doing the most. And like her ear is literally to his mouth whenever he speaks. And that's crazy to me. I don't understand.
I don't. I mean, I'll never understand it either. Honestly, uh, I look at it from a different way, and we know how like we was raised. Uh,
Is it a
you,
power trip? Like, is it because you're commanding somebody else and you feel like they're entitled to you? But it's like playing with fire because if it don't work, then aren't you the one that's getting hurt?
so who has the power, him or her?
I'm gonna say her.
But does she though? Because I mean, he pretty much does nothing, and she does everything.
Right, but that's a condition she put herself in though.
Because she carries the money, she carries everything, probably most of the stuff in her name, and so he has to ask her for stuff. You think? I feel like I
Oh,
don't
he
know
ain't
if
gotta
it's.
ask. He don't have to ask. He just gotta tell her. She just gonna get it. It don't matter how outrageous it is, and
I,
she'll make an excuse to why he's a good man or why he's a good guy, and that's malarkey. That's bullcrap to me.
I don't necessarily know if it's a power trip. I would think it's more uh, manipulation.
But it's crazy because it's not a one of. How many times have we seen somebody go down this path, get out, and then jump right back into the same situation?
With another guy or the same guy.
Both.
I
Be
mean,
honest.
I've seen it a lot. I mean, I still see it today, right?
Yeah,
But would you consider that like more of a self esteem thing?
can be because your self esteem went that low. It came upon a time where it was still being molded, and usually in these cases, the person that's receiving the benefits, i.e., Mr. Homeless, is not abusive or anything like that. He's just lazy. He don't do that.
Yeah, but once you've fallen in love, like when I say self esteem too, like it could be the first love. It could be, he was her first. He is her baby daddy or something like that, where for some reason she's still in love with this guy. She can't really explain why. She probably complains about him just as much as, everybody else does. Like, damn, why can't you get a job? Why you ain't working? But she's also not putting the pressure on him to do it. And I also don't believe that anybody can make a man be a man.
Who doesn't like money? No, a woman should have to force you to go do something. So the fact that that was even a factor in a relationship or in this scenario is just crazy to me. Because I just couldn't imagine. Like I say, I want a day off. I need to take a break. When I say a day off for a break, I mean I want to return to work so I can get this money. I'm not about to just be at home and just be sitting there.
But so many men have been that way. And I think if we really want to trace it back to the roots, I think it's because so many fathers, like of our generation, uh, weren't there. They were locked up. They weren't there. And so we had moms taking care of us. And then once they got girlfriends, they continued to have moms taking care of them because young girls saw their moms taking care of their brothers and maybe a potential stepdad who comes in, and that's what shaped their mindset for, okay, when I get a man, I need to take care of him like this. And they never saw, a lot of them, I feel like, never saw a healthy relationship between a husband and a wife or a mom and a dad or even a mom and a son or a dad and a daughter, because once you've seen that, I don't think you put up with that stuff the exact same way like a lot of these women do.
So when does common sense or self awareness come into play? Because at some point we didn't have instruction manuals for none of the stuff that we're doing right now. And a lot of times I look back and I think, man, how did I even get to this point? I couldn't even tell you the steps of retracing. And I'm saying that because when I look around, it's like I'm in an insane asylum. Like I'm the only one that's thinking straight, and I'm telling somebody else, and they looking at me like they can't understand what I'm saying. When I'm like, why can't you do this or what's up? And then they get to telling me this, that, and the third, and I'm like, but yeah, but we all got the same opportunities. Mind you, some things are a little bit more challenging, but when it comes to that situation, you add somebody else to the equation. Like that's just crazy to me when you see that dynamic where the woman is doing this, that, and the third. Now I'm not saying the man should be doing everything by himself, but I'm just saying to
It should be a
be,
partnership.
yeah, to be at that level is crazy. Like it made me look at people weird.
Well, I think the question that you asked was like, when does common sense come into it?
Yes.
And I think love and common sense are like oil and water, right? And one of them's gonna rise to the top, right? Most of the time, love rises to the top. Common sense is at the bottom, and I think you gotta find a way to get through those that lovebird feelings to really understand, like, get to the common sense that man, this dude ain't helping out. He ain't doing what he's supposed to do in a partnership, in a marriage, or in a relationship. So, like, why am I doing everything and he's still benefiting from it? And I don't think a lot of women make it through the love part and get to the common sense, or at least when they do, that's when the relationship ends.
Like as men, I feel like we're supposed to be able to navigate and drive the boat essentially. So how are you navigating and driving if you in the passenger seat or if you somewhere on the deck just in the back chilling? You can't drive or lead anything. You can't pick. You got somebody that has no sense of direction. That's bananas to me. Absolutely diabolical. Because you're just playing with fire, and it's like you get comfortable living that mid lifestyle. You know,
Yeah.
you don't expect somebody to come treat you better, and then you know it's real bad when somebody do come along. When that man, a suitor, comes along, and they clearly better than this person. You have every reason and opportunity to leave, and you don't take it.
I think that comes back to self esteem. Like, I think at that point, women don't think like it's so comfortable, it's so easy that it scares them. That, or they don't think like I'm worth this. I'm more worth this guy in the way that he talks to me and the way that he treats me. I don't think there's a woman alive who is in these relationships and doesn't realize that she's in a terrible situation. I think she lives off of the happy moments.
That statement is whole true because you do see that. It is some happy moments. I'm not trying to say that those two people can't be happy, but what I'm saying is that dynamic, that relationship status quo is horrible. Like you said, it's like oil and water. It's not gonna mix. It's a
Never.
recipe for disaster, 100%. And it's sad to see our people get trapped in that vicious circle, that vicious cycle, where you got the ladies doing this. And I just want to know why. I would love to have somebody comment and tell us why. What is the appeal to it? And if the question doesn't make sense, we'll be happy to clarify. But to continue on, uh, like you know what I'm talking about when I say that, right? That
Yeah.
woman to come along and see a man, and then from there she makes a decision, and we end up in this conversation. So y'all let us know what y'all think. Y'all comment, like, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Peace.